Hi, this is Daryl Peterson with Micromeasurements. I'm the manager of the Applications Engineering Department, and I'd like to take a few minutes this afternoon and show you one of our newest linear strain gauges. This strain gauge is one of our traditional CEA series gauges, but it's had the advanced sensors technology added into the strain gauge. That advanced technology is a new method that we use for adjustment of the resistance of the strain gauge. These strain gauges are intended to be a drop-in replacement for existing CEA series strain gauges that you might be familiar with. This particular pattern is a 250 UWA, which replaces the traditional 250 UW strain gauge pattern. They'll come in a package with 5 gauges in a package, and a blue package just like this. If I take it and I flip it over, you'll see the engineering data that comes with the strain gauges, and this information should look very familiar to you. We've got the resistance. You'll notice the tolerance on the resistance is now 350 ohms plus or minus 0.2%. So with the advanced sensors technology, we're able to make that resistance tolerance even tighter than it was before. The temperature coefficient of gauge factor is 1.5% per 100 degrees C. The gauge factor is 2.070 plus or minus 0.5%, just like the traditional strain gauges would have a 0.5% tolerance on the gauge factor. Transverse sensitivity is 0.5%. And then as we move our way down the engineering data, you'll see the thermal output coefficients, both in degrees Fahrenheit and in degrees Celsius, just like the traditional gauges. We've also got the foil lot number. And then finally, as we get down here to the bottom, you'll see the item code for the strain gauges. That will be new because with this new construction, this gauge has a new item code. So you may have to update your ERP system to reflect the new item code. You'll notice, again, 5 gauges per package. That's a manufacturing code. And then down here at the bottom, you've got a 2-dimensional barcode that represents all the technical data that's found on this engineering data sticker, if you will. And then last but not least, you see the part number down at the bottom, the CEA-06-250UWA-350. And if you see that A at the end of the gauge pattern, that simply means that it's one of our traditional gauges that's been updated with the advanced sensors technology for adjustment. So again, these gauges are intended to be a drop-in replacement for the traditional 250 UWs. We've got many other sizes and even geometries of gauges available now with the advanced sensors technology. And just to show you an example, I've got a small tube with one of these installed. And this is, again, the 250 UWA. And I guess sometimes the question comes up, why would we use this particular gauge? This one, for example, on a tube like this, you might put one on the front, one on the back. You could wire them together into a half-bridge circuit to measure bending in that direction. You could put a pair of them top and bottom and also a pair side to side, so you'd have bending in 2 different directions. Or you might take these gauges and put one at 0 degrees, one at 120, and one at 240 degrees around the circumference of this tube. And from those 3 separate measurements, you can calculate your axial component in the tube, and you could also calculate a bending component and a direction. So if you've got a tube that's maybe seeing some combined loads and you need to separate those, you might want to consider using 3 of these linear gauges. Again, one at 0, one at 120 degrees around the circumference, one at 240 degrees around the circumference, and then through a little bit of mathematical equations and algebra, you can very quickly resolve the axial component and the bending strain component of that signal. Now, if you'd like to find out more about these new 250 UWA strain gauges or strain gauges in general, please feel free to take a look at our website at www.micro-measurements.com. Or if you have technical questions, you can call our Applications Engineering Department by dialing 919-365-3800 and follow the prompts till you get to Applications Engineers. And one of the Applications Engineers would be happy to help you and answer any questions that you might have. Thank you and have a good day.